Welcome to this week's episode. As usual, we'll have right at the start here, we'll have a couple of customer cars and that sort of thing, and then we're going to feature Gary's 34 that we did a whole bunch of work on a few years ago now. It's been on the road for a while. What we did notice in the last couple of weeks is that we picked up a whole bunch of American viewers. So we thought maybe it's a good idea we'll explain the process for registering a car in Australia. In America, you can basically just prove you own it, go into the DMV, I think it is, and they'll hand you a registration paper. In Australia, it's a different thing. We more or less have to have it inspected. They check all the usual stuff, brakes, steering, suspension are all good, all the bushes are fine, all the lights work. It's not rusty, there's no structural rust, and that's just for a standard car. For a modified vehicle, it's a bit different again. You then also have to prove that it's structurally sound and the modifications that have been done are acceptable. At times we'll have to have an engineer double check the work, make sure everything's safe, all that sort of stuff. There are a whole bunch of rules and regulations, power to weight ratios and that sort of thing. And in the case of hot rods, as you'll see on Gary's car, we have to run fenders. No one likes them, but it's what we have to do. So anyway, check out the feature on Gary's car. Enjoy. So here's Gary's 34 coupe. It's a fiberglass body built by Rod Bods over east. Pretty severe chop, as you can see. A high boy, all that sort of stuff. Now the car itself was built on a replica chassis, Sakal front end, 9-inch rear. You can see here the ET wheels that we supplied. Diff cover is one from over east. I can't remember exactly who it was. Now the rear deck lid is steel. It was all pressed and louvered and all that sort of stuff from the States. Then we had to make it fit the fiberglass body. That was a whole bit of work, bunch of work, but we got it to fit pretty good. A bit more of the profile here. Now the engine in the car is a 427 Windsor. We got that in from Gary from the States. Behind it's a C4, custom made extractors, I think, from memory. There's a whole bunch of little details on the car, like the Nerf bars. It was one of the last Bob Drake 34 grills that came in. I don't know how long it's been since they've been available. Moon Eyes rocker covers that we made special adapters to make them clear the roller rockers and all that sort of stuff. Lots of nice little detail on this car. We'll come back and as it comes through the interior, we'll talk about it a bit more. You can see in this shot coming up now the front brakes. So it is just a standard sort of XF and Commodore type setup, but then the special covers made by a guy called Al Fountain that sort of disguise the disc brakes. Just a bit of a close-up of the front end there and that sort of thing. And this thing here is actually a hidden hitch. So that little square part slides out, and then Gary can put a hitch in, and he's building a custom trailer to match the rest of the car. One of the other features in the car is we spent a fair bit of time getting the back window to wind down. As you can see, Gary's in there doing it now. It just gives him a bit of fresh air, mainly because when we go to the front, we'll see we fitted a 32 style cowl vent, all working, and that's as good as air conditioning as you're going to get, really. A little bit more, here's like the tail lights and just a little bit more detail of underneath and a bit of a closer look. Now in the boot you can see Craig made all these aluminium panels. sort of neaten it up and hide everything. Gary put in a really big fuel tank because he does live 4 hours out of Perth, and he wanted to be able to fill the car up and drive all the way to Perth without stopping. And you can sort of see, obviously a bit more detailed, like we got billet hinges. Now these gauges, there's only 2 sets of these in the world. One set in Gary's car and another set in a really high-end show car in the US. Louvered glove box and just some of the switches from SoCal Speed Shop. And I think this is a Lucara banjo steering wheel. We supplied a lot of this gear. Here we have the Jenny shifter handbrake and a custom-made transmission cover and all that sort of thing. Crank fabricated all that. You can see the switches down the bottom and the shifter. Drew Menzies from Northside Trim did all the interior. It's a glide seat, all trimmed really nicely in like a distressed leather. Beautiful interior. Real credit to Drew.